Decree nisi, decree absolute. These are very confusing terms, especially for English speakers. But guess what? You don't have to worry about those confusing terms because the law changed since April 2022. And now we have new terms, which are more easily pronounceable. We're talking about conditional orders and final orders in divorce process. So if this is something that interests you, if this is something you like to hear more about, then this is a must-watch video for you. Myself, yours truly, Adi, and my colleagues, Roxanne, who is going to be joining me in the course of this video, will be explaining to you what the old divorce process was, what the new divorce process is, the difference between the two, and then we'll take some few questions and answers in this video. So please stay tuned so you can enjoy. To understand the current divorce procedure, I believe you should take a peep into the past with me. Yes, the past. Every divorce is in England and Wales pre-6th of April 2022 is deemed the past. Because back then, if you were doing a divorce, you are required to put in a petition. And then your petition will only be accepted if you tell the judge or you state on your petition that your marriage has irretrievably broken down. And it must be for a reason. So it means there have to be a reason at all time before you could convince the judge to grant you divorce. There were 5 reasons. 3 of those reasons are fault-based or blame reasons, and the other 2 are no-fault reason. I'll explain them. Even though you're telling the judge that, oh, my marriage has broken down, it's not enough. You have to be able to explain to the judge the reason why your marriage has broken down. And it's left for the judge, if satisfied, to go ahead to issue a divorce. The first reason, which more often than not people will use then, was the unreasonable behavior. It could be anything. It could be your spouse not eating your food. It could be your spouse giving you silent treatment. It could be, oh, he failed to give me money, or oh yeah, he failed to pick up the kids, blah blah blah. Just anything, provided the judge was convinced will constitute unreasonable behavior. And then the other one is adultery. I don't need to explain that. I'm sure you understand what that means. And then you have desertion, which people rarely use that. Desertion is when one spouse leaves the other, without any explanation. And these were the reasons mostly advanced, under the old system. But like I said, they are reasons based on blame, fault of the other party is the reason why I want to divorce, and then you have to go ahead to grant the divorce. Remember I mentioned there are other 2 reasons that are no fault based. These were separation. There were 2 separations. There was one after 2 years. If you separated for 2 years and you've got the consent of the other party, you could actually get a divorce. The court would be very eager to grant one. And if you separated for 5 years, you don't need the consent of the other party because it's 5 years. It's believed that parties are living separate lives at that point in time. So you can apply for divorce without the consent of the other party and the court will grant it. This was a system back then. But the court granting it doesn't mean the court will just give you a final divorce order like that. There are a process to it. What the court would do more often than not is you would apply for what we call the application for decree nisi. You remember that time I told you earlier about? Yeah, so decree nisi is a form of conditional order. You're asking the court, oh, could you make pronouncement that my divorce has broken down for the reasons I've advanced? And then the judge will look at it and then say, oh yeah, I believe you. Then they'll give you what they call entitlement of decree nisi. They'll give a date for which decree nisi will be pronounced. And when the day comes, an order of decree nisi will be provided to you and sent to both parties' address. And immediately after that, you have to start counting down for the cooling down period of 6 weeks. So after the end of the 6 weeks, if parties are still together, if things are going as planned, then the same petitioner, that's the person who puts in the petition, can then ask the court for a decree absolute. So it's just you asking the court to make that order final. And guess what? The respondent can also make the same application, but it's a different process. And this is not the video for it. We'll probably talk about that in another video. Having said that, that's the system under the old law. Under the current divorce procedure, all the parties need to do is to put in an application for a divorce, and they wait 28 days for that to be served. It must be served within 28 days, or what tends to happen more often than not is that the court will serve a copy anyway. So 14 days after receipt of that document, the receiving party, which is the respondent, must then file an acknowledgement. One thing will happen is either is disputing the divorce or is not disputing. Because it's not acrimonious, because you're not giving reasons, all you're telling the court is that, oh, my divorce or my marriage has broken down irretrievably. More often than not, the other party will not object to this divorce process, at least for the ones I've done. That's what I've seen. And then they will come back to say, oh, we agree with the divorce, and then it goes on. What then happened? From the date of issue of the application, 20 weeks will start counting. At the end of the 20 weeks, either party could put in an application for a conditional order. Remember, I said we used to have decree nisi. So now that's replaced with conditional order, which is a better term. It's more comprehensible, just by the sound of it, you understand what it means. So you get a conditional order. I'm sure you're asking a question, why 20 weeks? That's too long. The truth is, it's called a reflection period because the court believes that parties might want to change their mind in the course of that period. In reality, I haven't seen any. I'm hoping one day I see a case whereby we put in an application for divorce, and before we finish the reflection period, somebody actually reflected and said, you know what, I think I love him. I'm not gonna go ahead with it. But like I said, I haven't seen that. I'm praying that comes soon. So once the conditional order is made, then you wait again for a period of 6 weeks. This is not a reflection period part two. This is a cooling off period. Cooling off is that the divorce is going to go on. Cooling off is, are parties going to have any conversation about maybe child arrangement or finances? No, but that's the whole idea of the cooling off. So you can tidy up things that parties might need as the divorce, is advancing. So within that cooling off period, you expect to do, instruct the solicitor if you have to, talk to people, take advice, and all of that. And then once that 6 weeks is done, either party once again could apply for a final order. So that's the end of that divorce proceeding. All right, everybody. Roxanne is here, and it's time for frequently asked questions. So, Roxanne, what question have you got for us?
Well, one of the first most asked question is, can I still use my husband's adultery to divorce?
Oh, okay. So what this is saying is that if the fact that the husband committed adultery, if they could use that as the reason for divorce, absolutely. It could be the reason why you file a divorce application, but the judge is not interested what your husband had done, which is why we call it a no for divorce. So it could be the reason why you file, but no one, unfortunately, is interested in that reason as far as putting in writing is concerned.
All right. Well, then the second question is, how long do I need to be separated for to start a divorce?
You don't have a timeline. I mean, I'm trying to rack my brain. I mean, the truth is, we don't have a timeline. Once you've been married for more than 12 months, you could file a divorce anytime. That's the law.
All right. But then how long do people need to be married for before they can start a divorce?
Oh, okay. I think I answered that question now. Yeah. You have to stay married for at least 12 months.
All right.
If you're married for 12 months, then you could file a divorce. I have seen people who were married for just 3 months and they want to divorce, and we had to tell them to wait for 12 months. I'm sure it was the longest wait of their life. But if you wait, then you will get the order. If you don't wait, the court will probably strike you out. So it's best to wait 12 months before you can file a divorce.
Perfect. Another asked question was whether the lack of intimacy was a ground for divorce or is a ground for divorce.
Under the fourth rules that we had pre-April 2022, yes, lack of intimacy, lack of anything could qualify as unreasonable behavior. The fact that you're not coming close to your spouse for one reason or the other could be deemed as unreasonable behavior. We have advanced courses like that on behalf of client pre the current dispensation, and the judge agreed with us that it was unreasonable behavior, and that was the reason why divorce went through. But like we said, this is a no-fault system. I'm happy I keep saying no-fault. No-fault system. You don't have to say that he's done or she's done anything. You just have to come to court. But like we said with the earlier one, with the earlier question, the lack of intimacy might be the reason why you will go ahead to start completing your divorce form. But you don't have to advance that reason because there is no column in the form for you to put reasons anyway. So you don't have to give any reason. You just have to start completing the form, and then it goes from there.
All right. I think some people may be a bit confused about the new law.
Okay.
And that's why one of the most asked questions, what are the new reasons or what other reasons can I give to start a divorce?
Like we've said, there are no reasons. The only thing is your marriage is broken down irretrievably. Irretrievably means beyond redemption. Like there is nothing you could do. Maybe you tried to talk about it, you've seen a mediator, or you've gone to therapy, it just wasn't working, and you felt, you know what, I have to move on from it. Or it could even be a case where there were domestic violence, and you felt this is not a marriage. I would advise anybody to stick in, so just want to leave. Yeah, so you don't have to give any reason, but like we said, that's no reason in the divorce paper, but those could be reasons why you will complete those forms to say, you know what, I want to leave, and it's time that happens.
All right, thank you so much for answering all these.
Yeah, thanks, Roxanne, for taking me on. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening to us. This is a video that we've done just for you. If you got questions after this, following up from what we've talked about, those questions we took were questions sent to us by other people in the course of our last video. So if you got any question, please send to us. We will treat them at the frequently asked questions session, which we are trying to inculcate into our every time video now. So yeah, we'll be able to answer those questions. And if there are questions that you feel are too complex, or you don't want to share the details, online with everybody, you could send us an email, and we'll be very happy to attend to that. Remember, you got the benefit of free 10-minute advice. If you email us, we will call you in the course of the week, and we'll provide advice to you for free for 10 minutes. But that's going to be for our subscribers only. So, and it's going to be for the first 10 or 20 subscribers or thereabout. Yeah, so you can avail yourself of that. And again, it's on any subject matter whatsoever. As you're aware, we are high street practice. We do everything except crime and personal injury cases. So anything other than those two, please send us a message, send us an email. Our details are in our bio or in our description below. So just look at it from there. Send us those messages, and the team, myself, Roxanne, we're all waiting to hear from you. So we want to say thank you once again for listening to us. From Roxanne and I,
thank you.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
Speak next week. Bye.